Welcome to the September 3rd meeting of the Murfreesboro City Council. Newly elected Councilman Sean Wright has our prayer, but we also have Jesse Hofer, who's here with Troop 398, which is from St. Mark's. He's working on his citizenship and the community badge, and after our prayer, he's going to do our pledge for us.
Our Father in heaven, thank you for the blessings you've bestowed on our community in the past and the blessings you continue to bestow on our community. Please be with the leaders of our country, our state, and our local officials as we go through the next few months and in the future. It's in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for coming tonight. All right, we'll move into your consent agenda. You have 8 items on your consent agenda.
So move. Second.
Motion is second. Ms. Wright, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
Aye, and I missed Ms. Wright. I apologize. I had it right here on my agenda, but Ms. Skels Harris, or Vice Mayor Skels Harris, is participating by call. So we're announcing that to cooperate and be in compliance with state guidance. All right, so that's our consent agenda. We'll move into old business. We have land use matters. We have ordinance 20OZ25, amending the Victory Station PUD south of Franklin Road. This is second and final reading.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Ms. Wright, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
Aye. All right, we'll move into ordinance 2026, amending the zoning ordinance. This is second and final reading.
So move. Second.
Motion is second. Ms. Wright, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
Aye. All right, we'll move into new business. We have step system approval for Compton Road, north of Emory Road.
Mayor, council members, thank you for the opportunity to come before you tonight. What we have and should be displayed on your screen here is a 73.5 acre tract off of Compton Road near just north of Emory Road. What we're asking for your approval tonight is to allow a step system to treat the wastewater treatment and disposal for about 150 lots. These are going to be about 10 to 12,000 square feet. This is a little better site plan that shows you the area to the north that's going to be a dedicated drip disposal field. It'll have the recirculating sand filter and the ultraviolet disinfection. So we're asking for that approval. It's already incorporated into the city limits. So there's not going to need to be an annexation request. So I'm here to answer questions if you have any.
We're not laughing at you, Darren.
I'm sorry?
We're not laughing at you.
That's a,
We were,
I'm used to it.
just so the residents will know, we have a new council member, and we were pulling, we would always do this thing with Doug Young, that we would put somebody's phone up underneath them and call just for their first meeting to. And,
Terrible crew.
and my-
It's the worst ringer ever. It's like just the quietest ring ever.
So I got another call on my phone at the same time.
Oh yeah, of course you did, because we tried it first.
For those of y'all who are watching, Doug Young.
We're not completely crazy, by the way.
Doug Young would never turn his ringer off on his phone, and so we would always call him during the meeting. And then when he did get wise to turn his ringer off, we would set our phone up underneath his chair and call it. He'd be looking at his phone going, why is it ringing? So anyway, we were paying
calling me. Tradition. Addition.
All right, you have the step
It
system.
looks like a
approval.
great idea though, Darren. Again, that's what I would do.
You have the step system approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Ms. Wright, call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
No. All right, now we have the election of the, thank you, Mr. Gore. Now we have the election of the vice mayor. Typically, after every election, we will hold a nominating portion to be able to elect the vice mayor who will chair the meeting if the mayor is not in attendance.
I nominate Madeline Scales Harris.
Second.
All right, any other nominations? All right, seeing none, can we have a motion to elect Ms. Scales Harris as vice mayor for in acclamation?
So moved.
Yes.
Second.
We have to call roll call for the governor's order.
Oh, okay, we have to call because it's electronic. COVID messing up everything again. All right, Ms. Wright, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
Aye. Madeline, you were elected in acclamation, so everybody voted for you.
Thank you. I'll try to live up to it, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, we
And
now
Sean?
move into licensing. You have wine sales certificate of compliance, Vito Market and Deli.
We do, Mayor. We have that and a beer permit tonight. The first item is the wine in a retail store. They have met our requirements. The state does require them to come before the city, and looking at their background check, that they meet what we require in order to issue this.
Any questions?
There are none. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Ms. Wright, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
Aye.
Mayor, we have a beer permit too.
Okay.
It's for a restaurant at 521 Northwest Broad Street. It's an ownership change and a name change. And that one still needs to finish their building codes inspections, but otherwise it's met our requirements. So if you approve it, we will not issue it until they satisfy building and codes.
Everything's in order?
Yes.
Okay.
Your motion.
Yes, please.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Ms. Wright, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
Aye. All right, well, now, any board and commission appointments? Okay. And council members, I will have finished up either tonight or tomorrow the board and commission appointments for everyone. If you have any that you've not sent, please send those to me, but I'll have those out tomorrow for everyone, so that we'll be able to hit the ground running next week for any of those meetings. We have, under other business, any statements, Ms. Wright?
No, sir.
Okay, under other business, we have approval to accept the federal assistance to firefighters grant program. This is a COVID-19 supplemental. Chief Oaks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This was a grant assistance program that was offered by the Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program through FEMA for relief for some COVID-19 supplies. Our total in the amount of this, of what was eligible that we submitted, was $26,608 for both supplies and for immediate needs reimbursement. We have approximately a 10% match. The federal, it says 10% match, but it's never, when you put their equation to it, it never matches up to that. So you can see in the bottom that our federal portion is not quite 10%. It's $2,419 of match on that, but it's equipment that we've already spent anyway, so this would be reimbursement to that.
If there's no question, so move.
Second.
Motion is second.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Mayor McFarland.
Aye. All right, Councilman Shacklet, I think you had an announcement.
I did. I wanted to commend our interim director of schools, Ralph Ringstaff at the Murfreesboro City Schools, for the job that they have done. His team, the teachers, the staff, students, and the parents have brought us. The city schools will be moving to the next phase of reopening on September the 28th, and where we'll have the option for all of the students to have in-person classes. And I thought making that people aware of, that's a concerted effort by all those parties to try to make it a safe place for us to get back to school in some sense of normalcy. And be paying attention. The parents out there will be paying attention, because you can still opt out if you so choose to. Like for you to complete a form by September 18th, and you'll be getting information from the city schools about how they're planning to move into this next phase, and the specifics. But I just wanted to commend all the people at our city schools, the efforts that they've made to in difficult times. We had not only a lot of personnel changes, with the passing of Linda Gilbert, our director of city schools, and a lot of people jumping in to kind of carry the burden and in a difficult time. They need to be commended for the work that they've done, because we called upon them to go very much up and beyond the call of duty and any kind of normalcy that they've had. And everybody's jumped together to make it work, and moving to the next phase is a real important thing. So continue to operate safely, and we can continue moving into more openness and some more normalcy for our students to have an education. So anyway, I want to commend all those people that have made this option realistic, moving to the next phase. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, do we have any other business from staff? Council members? I would want to say we had our meeting today that we talked about a couple of weeks ago about our emergency services, or emergency medical services. I thought that went well, and look forward to our next meeting and hopefully some more productive conversations. All right, seeing no other business, we will stand adjourned.